Okay, so I've made my first handle and I'm just about to draw out the next one. So I've got it flush up against the side of this other one, so I'm just going to trace around it now. Cool, so I've got my first handle, the first side of the handle. I had a little bit of a play around here, but I wanted that to be quite a knurly type of prominence, just so that I could really wedge my hand in there, because obviously when you're using a machete you need to have a good grip of it. You don't want it slipping because you're hitting with quite a force. So that's going to capture my hand in there really well. There's a little bit of space up the top, which is good. So yeah, that'll be great. And then I've just cut out my new shape here to match that. These all matched up through there. Rough side. That's my smooth side. Just got to take these little marks out, make it as flush as I can. So I'm just really going to try and re-hone the blade and get it a bit of get it slightly sharper. I've done a little bit already on it. As you can see from in the light there, someone's done some metal work at some stage on the blade, and these grooves here, I'm not going to be able to get those out, but yeah. So that's how everything looks at this point in time. So I'll drop one of these through there while I'm cutting the other ones, and that will just hold it nice and flush. Okay, so this is the stage that I'm at the moment, and I've got my two handles there. I've cut my lengths of metal, and you'll see this end one here is actually a screw. So we're scraping the barrel on that one, but anyway, it's going in. And essentially what I'm going to do now is put the eraldite all on here, then fit the blade back on top, put some more eraldite on the blade, squish it down, and then clamp it together and dry it all up. Let it dry. So this is the eraldite solution that I'm going to be using. Cool, so that is all glued up, and I've put some glue into the holes as well. So I've just got to line this all up here. Okay, so put one side down, And I'm just pushing the other side so it's flush. Glue coming out the middle there. That's all good. It means that it's got a nice covering. A bit around the top as well, which is good. And I can just use that downward pressure to make sure that everything is flush. And then I'm going to use these securing pins, these little clamps, to keep that pressure on. Okay, so I'm just working my way through these pins now. So I'm essentially just filing them down and getting them flush with the board, and then I'm going to start doing a bit of sanding work on the actual wood itself. So I've sort of taken the edge off each of these knife blanks, and you can see at the bottom, just there, that bit that doesn't have any glue in it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole down at the bottom there so that I can run a rope through it. This is the back. So it's just had a bit of a touch up with some 80 grit sandpaper, just taking the edges off here, as I've said, so it's quite smooth around there now. And now I'm just going to give it a good sand across the top here, get everything nice and level. Now I'm going to be using the 400 grit just to take it even down even further. So I've drilled my hole there, and yeah, the 400 grit will be the final sanding. I have sanded everything down now to a 400 grit sandpaper, so it's feeling nice and smooth. And the next thing I've done is I've basically just grabbed a cloth and tried to get all of that excess dust and sandpaper off. And then the next thing will be putting a treatment on it. What I'm going to do now is I am going to be putting some of this on. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's called a hard burnishing oil. So it's a natural oil timber finish on the back here. So it's essentially made from tongue nut oil, formulated for minimal darkening and yellowing, allowing a natural colour, and provides a tough, durable barrier and seal against moisture. It's also food safe as well, so you can use it for things like chopping boards and various other utensils as well. So I'm going to do 2 treatments of this. So I'll do one treatment tonight and then another treatment tomorrow, and she should be all ready to go. Cool. That's how it fits into the hand anyway. So there's a little bit of space there at the bottom, which is nice. It's a nice thick handle too. It's not too thin. And the reason I've got this bit here is obviously I don't want the hand slipping up onto the blade. So it's going to be a nice, good, solid grip when I am using it. So there we go. Happy days. Cool. The cloth, just let it soak in a little bit. Take it off, and then I'll just dab it onto the handle, like so. We'll be quite liberal with it, because you obviously want to let it soak in. Yeah, that's how it's looking at the moment. Sorry about the lighting, shed's a little bit poorly lighted. Hold all the way through.